Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I will be sharing a very well-known story in the Hmong community. I know that everyone tells the story a little bit differently, and that includes me too. By the way, I love to tell my story in a first-person point of view, also known as first-person narrative. I remember when I was still a little boy. I loved listening to scary stories from my grandfather. This was way back in mid-1900 in the small country of Laos. Those of you who don't know what Laos is a small country in Southeast Asia. During that time in Laos, there is no TV or other form of entertainment at nighttime. That's why when someone tells a scary story, everyone loves to gather around and listen. My grandfather would tell stories about deserted villages. He would tell us young kids why some villages were abandoned, why some people left the village and never returned. He said, after a long day of hunting or traveling, if you stumble upon an old abandoned village, do not rest or sleep in that village. There is a good reason why the villager left. Instead of spending the night sleeping in one of the houses in the village, it's safer to go to the edge of the village, look for the graveyard, and spend the night there. Seriously, I thought he was joking, but the way he said it didn't seem like he was. My grandfather would go on to tell us about how when some people die, they would rise back up as a zombie or as evil spirit. The zombie or the evil spirit would cause the people in the village to flee. That's why some villages are abandoned. As an adult, I love hunting. Every time I go hunting, I would keep my grandfather's stories at the back of my mind. One day I was out hunting with my friend and his older brother. We woke up early in the morning before sunrise and start walking to our hunting spot. From the village to our hunting spot would take almost half a day. When we got there, we were tired from our walk. After some rest by a small stream, we decided to go hunting separately. The plan was to come back and meet up on the same resting spot before sunset. On that day, I was able to bag a few birds and squirrels, but I did not see any big animal. I got back to the spot where we supposed to meet. When I got there, my friend and his older brother already finished skinning a wild hog and cutting the meat into smaller pieces. They just split the meat between themselves and did not give me any. At least I was able to get a few birds and squirrels. On our way back, as the sun begins to set, my friend and his older brother were complaining about how heavy the meats are and that their backs are hurting. My friend's older brother used to hunt that jungle, so he knew that there used to be a village nearby. He said that since we probably won't get back to our village until midnight, we should go to the village nearby to get some rest. After walking about an hour, we spotted the village. As we continued walking towards the village, we passed by a small graveyard. When we got to the village, we quickly realized that no one lived there anymore. The houses are falling apart. After looking around for a while, we managed to find a house in the middle of the village that's still standing. We knocked on the door, but no one answered. We opened the door, and inside was empty. My friend's older brother said that we'll rest in the house for the night, and we'll go back to our village tomorrow morning. That's when I told my friend and his older brother about what my grandfather said about deserted village. I suggest that we should rest at the small graveyard for the night instead. They both think I'm crazy and told me to go rest in the graveyard if that's what I want. Before dark, I packed my stuff and left to the graveyard by the edge of the village. When I got there, I said to an old grave, "It's been a long day and I'm tired. If you don't mind, can I rest in your house for the night?" After that, I put my stuff down next to the old grave and lay down. It was a cold night too, but luckily I had my blanket with me. I was tired from walking and hunting all day. I fell asleep the moment I lay down and covered myself with my blanket. That night I had a dream that I was having a conversation with an old man inside his house. As we were talking by the fire in the middle of the room, there was a knock at the door. The old man went to open the door. There was some men outside and one of them said, "We found some deer tracks and we just want to know if you would like to go hunting with us." The old man then said, "Oh, I would love to go hunting, but I have guests today. Maybe next time." After that, the men outside left and the old man closed the door. Around midnight, I woke up to some weird noises coming from the middle of the village. It sounded like yelling and screaming along with some animal noises. I just covered my head with my blanket and went back to sleep. Then I continued to dream that same dream. I dreamed that the old man and I were still talking when someone knocked at his door again. He got up to answer it, and there was a man outside. The man outside said, "Here's a deer leg for you." I heard the old man thank the man outside. After that, he closed the door and brought the deer's leg inside and set it by the fire. Then he asked me if I'm hungry. I said that I am, but when I looked at the deer's leg, it wasn't a deer's leg. It was a bloody human leg. Then I woke up from my dream. When I opened my eyes, the sun was already up over my head and it was already daytime. I got up and rubbed my eyes, and I wondered how the two brothers were doing last night. I packed my stuff and started walking back to the village where the two brothers slept last night. When I got to the house where the two brothers stayed, the door was wide open. I got inside and saw that there was blood everywhere on the wall of the house, and there were pieces of clothes all torn apart in the area where the brothers slept last night. This reminded me of the strange noises I heard last night. I just got out of the house and ran out of the village as quickly as I can. I don't know what happened to the brothers, and I don't plan to wait for them either. I walked back to our village by myself that morning. When I got back, I told the villagers what happened. The next day, some men and I went to look for the two brothers. We went back to the old deserted village, and the two brothers were nowhere to be found. Now I understand why my grandfather was said you should sleep at the graveyard instead. The elders also said, when you're being respectful and you ask the people of the graveyard to help protect you or to let you rest in their house, they will protect you from other evil spirits. Or perhaps, maybe they will protect you from themselves or the other evil spirits in the graveyard. Based on what happened, I believe that the evil spirits of the graveyard went back to the village to hunt for the two brothers. Maybe we humans appear to be animal in their world. I don't know. You may think that this is just a story, but back in the old days, everyone would always say, whenever you travel or whenever you go hunting and you stumble upon an old deserted village, do not sleep in the village. There's a reason why everyone left. Alright guys, so that's the end of the story, and as you can tell, English is not my first language. I struggle quite a bit, and this is my first story in English. Not my very first one, but my first one in this channel. So I've been telling a story in my native tongue for 2 to 3 years now. And yeah, I was struggling quite a bit with this video. The whole script or the whole recording actually was 30 minutes long, and I just cutting it down. Whenever I mispronounce something, I would just cut it out, and there's a lot of editing going on. And yeah, I promise to improve, and please forgive me for my sloppy English. And yeah, I hope my storytelling is not too confusing. And let me know in the comment. I'll see you guys in another video. Have a nice day.